they come to. Now, then, so prakrita buddhina. Prakrita buddhi is a wild mind given to wild conjectures. This is the problem. And so, of course, we have already seen this. This is just a revision. Yeah, a brushing up. So, katham punaha suvigneyaha ityuchyate ananya prokte ananyena. So, this, how is it then well understood? And we saw that. So, the word ananya, where is the word ananya? Yeah, line number 3 in mantra number 8. So, third line in 8th mantra, ananya. Ananya means what? Na anyaha. Yeah. And that has two meanings which we have to see, which we have already seen, but just to brush up. The first meaning of Ananya is the subject who is teaching. Yeah. Ananyena prokte sati. Meaning taught by an acharya. And here's the first time I pointed out that Adi Shankara uses even the term acharya. Because the other one was just a manushya, not even purusha. It was just a manushya, simple fellow, who is just pontificating. Yeah. And here, acharya, the one who is brahmatma bhut, pratipadya brahmatma bhutena acharyena. We saw this. Pratipadya means the one who is that which is to be studied, that which is to be understood, has made it into the truth of oneself, himself, herself, that kind of an acharya, who is ananya means non-separate from the teaching. And it's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, it's a lifetime of tapas. It's a lifetime of, what is that? A disciplined life and a lifetime of clarity. A lifetime that is given to clarity. That is where the clarity, where the abidance in the clarity is the predominant purpose of which life. That kind of a life, that committed life is what is here. The one who is leading such a life, has led such a life, that is the person called Ananya. So taught by him, what happens, that is the first meaning. What happens we'll see later, because that also has many meanings. And so that is the first meaning. Second meaning, you take the term Ananya, non-separate, and in the first instance we applied it to the teacher who is non-separate from the subject matter. And then in the second instance of the word Ananya, you qualify the word Ananya to the subject matter of that which is being taught. And so Ananya here in the second instance refers to the manner of teaching. It refers to the subject matter, not to the person teaching. But more importantly, it refers to the manner in which the subject matter is conveyed. So then it becomes a sati saptami, it becomes an absolute locative construction, a conditional construction, like when it is taught in such a manner, ... then only, what is that? The suvigneyo bhavati, the proper understanding takes place. And what is the condition? When it is taught as non-separate, as the Atma that is non-separate from everything, that is one with everything, including the teacher, including the taught. Here the teacher is not featuring in at all. It's the manner of teaching. You've seen this. I mean, you can see this very clearly. I mean, what is more compelling in the teaching of Vedanta? Somebody who's saying, for example, don't focus on the somebody, but just focus on the statements. Yes, yes, don't we wish that it's all one? And don't we just sort of sense it sometimes? But then that oneness appears to be fleeting. So somebody talking like this, yes, kind of compelling, because that's exactly how I also think. And I think, oh, this is true. This person who's having so many, people following him is saying that, so this fellow must be true. But then when the person says that you are the whole, because there is you, because you say I am. When I ask you, are you here? You say, yes, I am here. And that yes is the place from where that yes ensues is that consciousness which is all pervasive. That which obtains as the truth of this body mind sense complex, as the indweller of this body mind sense complex, is that which is the Lord of the entire universe, that which is the same consciousness which makes the flower bloom, which makes the rain come, which makes the seasons, which makes all the laws in the universe, and which is manifest in the form of this diverse universe. So that same consciousness abides the universe of names and forms, and that same very consciousness is also nameless and formless in its own essence. Of course, this is much more compelling because this is the truth, and it is taught in an ananya way. The taught in the ananya way is the second meaning of the word ananya. Ananye prokte sati. Second, that's the second meaning. First one was ananyena prokte sati, and here it is ananye prokte, when the subject matter is taught in the what? In a non-separate way. So now the sentence is ananya prokte gatihi atra nasti. That also has two more meanings. So what is the, maybe even three, if we can eke out one more, we'll see if we can do that. So let us see. So nasti, asti nasti, yeah. So let us go to the first athava, paragraph 3 in the Bhashya. Athava swapmabhute ananye अस्मिन् आत्मनि प्रोक्ते अनन्य प्रोक्ते गतिः अत्र अन्य अवगतिः नास्ति ज्ञेयस्य अन्यस्य अभावात्. Yeah, so so that is the second meaning of gati. First meaning we have already seen, but we'll look at it again. Go in the middle of the second paragraph and repeat this with me. Atmani gatihi anekadha अस्ति नास्ति इत्यादि लक्षणा चिंता गतिः अस्मिन् आत्मनि नास्ति न विद्यते सर्वविकल्प गति प्रत्यस्तमितत्वात् आत्मनः. Yeah, so two meanings of gati. The one we just read says that gatihi atra nasti. Gatihi means the going is not there. Going means, now we have to think of various meanings for the word going. Gatihi, so gatihi means what here? Going on a spin. First meaning, is not there. And what does going on a spin with regard to the Atma look like? It is there, it is not there. What? Atma. And then it is big, it is blue, it is in the form of blue light dancing in between the eyebrows. Please get the vision checked if you're seeing that all the time. Go for, sometimes they have sale and then they say free vision check. Sometimes they have that. So please go for the vision check if you're seeing yellow light, blue light, and go for an audio checkup if you're hearing sounds, jingle bells, etc. And if you're hearing sounds, if you're seeing visions, please go for a vision checkup. If both of those, audio checkup and vision checkup, doesn't work, immediately make an appointment with a psychiatrist. That's all, that's what this is saying. So gatihi means, anekadha chinta lakshana gatihi. So first meaning of gatihi is that, the goings on in the mind with regard to the Atma. So what is this going here? Going, gati means going. So the various conjectures, the goings on in the mind that is, empty of this proper teaching. Because the avara is sitting and teaching, and so the avara teaching will produce avara gatihi, and this avara gati is what? Avara gati means a going that is a no-go. This is this kind of gati na asti. When the proper teacher teaches, what happens? The wrong gati, the wrong conclusions. Gati here means conclusions. Conclusions in the form of myriad and varied doubts, many and varied doubts, such as, does the Atma exist? Yes, no, maybe, always, sometimes, never. All of the above, none of the above. This is not a multiple choice question. Does the Atma exist? Are you even knowing what you are asking? Do I exist? Which check one. How to check one? Because I exist, I can even check. Even when I am checked out, I can check in that I am. This is what it is. So therefore, for the first meaning of the word gati means, what does it mean? That the various conjectures, wrong and false conjectures with regard to the Atma disappear when it is taught properly, when it is communicated properly by the proper acharya who has been properly taught by a vara acharya, not an avara acharya. Avara cannot be called acharya, avara manushya. Yeah. So this is the first meaning of the word gati. Second meaning of the word gati is also interesting. So that we just read here. So ananya, so prokte gatihi atra nasti, avagatihi nasti. Avagatihi means knowing the Atma other than what it is not possible. First is all various conjectures that are tabled, and then that various Atma doesn't become an object of conjecture because it is taught by someone who knows that it is the very nature, the content, the truth of the subject, and it is taught by a person who has internalized this truth himself, herself, and so the student also will internalize that same truth. This is the promise of the Shastra, and that is why the lineage continues and without a break, and therefore this is what the first gati. The gati means there is no wrong conjectures possible. Wrong conjectures go. First meaning of the word gati. Second meaning of the word gati is that avagati. Avagati means the understanding the Atma as something other than what it is. Ava, the upasarga, the prefix ava is bad news, Yeah, like certain things are bad news. When any word starts with dus, don't go there. Yeah, ku, don't go there. Yeah, and then ava, bad. Apa, very bad. Yeah, so this is, yeah, so these are all, upasargas, prefixes, which gives the viparita meaning, the opposite meaning of the word, that which the word intends. So gatihi means simple going, avagatihi means wrong derailment. Yeah. So it's I will never mistake the Atma for an apple. Why? Because gantavya, what word? Something abhavat, very nice. What was that? Jneyasya anyasya abhavat. Because there is nothing other than the Atma to know. So therefore avagati is not there. Wrong understanding is not possible when it is properly taught. Why? Because there is nothing other than that. Is the only thing there is to know. How will you know something else? Is it possible? Yeah, but what about chocolate cake? Chocolate cake is what? Truth of chocolate cake is what? Atma. No, but chocolate cake. But what about that? How can it is Atma? I understand, I know, but then that it is a separate thing. You see, it's displayed in the counter. So this is what the whole thing is. This is what the whole problem. The problem is thinking that Atma, along with Atma, there are many parallel things to be known. This is Ajnanam or Durvijnanam. See, I told you the Dus along with V becomes Dur. Yeah, so another way to recognize. Anything starts with Dus or Dur, like Duryodhana, bad news. Yeah. So, Durvijnanam. The second meaning of Gatihi is Durvijnanam Nasti. An understanding of Atma as something else other than what it is not possible, because there is nothing other than what it is. See, if two things look alike, like that, those animals, there are so many animals. There is this pigs, not pigs, guinea pigs, various kinds. They are actually some kind of rats, mice. They come in that Mushika Jati. And then, there are all these various kinds. Guinea pig, and then there is one more, I forgot the name of it. Hamster, yes. The one that goes round and round. Samsari guinea pig. And so, hamster, guinea pig, and various, these rodent jatis. So, for the one who is not a biologist, they will all look like various kinds of mice, correct? Or rats. Everything you will call rat. But the pig will protest. First of all, you shouldn't call me pig. Why am I called a pig? I am, I am this kind of a genus. This is my thing. And the other one will say, I am, genus hamsterus, and all these things. This is who I am. So it is possible to mistake two things which look alike and have the wrong understanding and mistake the hamster for guinea pig, and and sometimes even these cows, cattle. There are so many varieties: Jersey cattle, these cattle, brown cattle, these all kinds of cattle. And then you and hybrid cattle. You can easily mistake if you don't know. If you are not a rancher, you don't know the difference. You just mistake. You just say, okay, this is just a cow. This is just a bullock, And you can mistake one for the other. Here, how many things are there to come to a wrong conclusion? How many things are there? Only one. Only one, that happens to already be yourself. So how is it possible to come to the wrong conclusion? That is the second meaning of the word Gati. First meaning is that, the knowledge is not derailed in the form of various conjectures. Whether this, whether that, doubts. The doubts are not there. First meaning of the word Gati. Second meaning is that it's not a doubt, but it's a mistake. The mistaking the Atma for something other than what it is not there, because, anyasya jneyasya, there is nothing other to know. Even the chocolate cake that you wish to know and experience is yourself alone. This is what the whole thing is. So this is the second meaning of the word Gati. And then further, anyasya jneyasya bhavat. Jnanasya hi esha paranishta yad atmaikatva vijnanam. Yeah. So,
with kashta, yes. We have kashta, yes. Parakashta.
No, nishtha. Yeah, kashta comes later. Sa para kashta sa gatihi. That's okay, even if it is there, but it is certainly out of context if it's kashta. Yeah, paranishta. Jnanasya hi esha paranishta. Meaning this is the ultimate assimilation of the knowledge. Kashta means the goal, but this is it's also okay, but then you'll have to bring in a few things to understand. Take it as nishtha here. Jnanasya hi esha para nishtha. Let's see what Gambhira Nandaji does. Which verse are we? 8. Okay. It doesn't matter. Some of these are there. Some Patha Bheda are there. I would think that Nishtha applies. Let's see. This being said, whether it exists or not.
It's just because they all have.
It's Kashta. I changed it to Nishtha.
Yeah. I just want. That's why.
Ananya Prokte, one's very self is adikna asti gatihi, because there is nothing else to be known. For the realization of the unity of the self, he also uses that Nishtha only. He doesn't say Kashta. Otherwise, it would have been something else. Yeah, he looks at he translates Nishtha as the realization of the unity of the self. Yeah. So this is what it is. So he gives the reasoning why there is Jneyasya Abhava, meaning there is nothing more to be known. Why? Because Jneyasya hi esha para nishtha, the complete abidance in that which is to be known. Jneyasya, the abidance of that, abidance in that, hi esha para nishtha, this ultimate embodiment, nishtha, occupation, imbibing, inhering, living as, non-separate from, because we are all discussing that whole non-separation. So living as non-separate from what is to be known, yat, that alone is Atma Ekatva Vijnanam. That is what is called the understanding of the truth of the self. That is what is self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is nothing but abiding in the non-separate nature of the self, as revealed by the Shastra. Ataha avagantavya abhavat nagatihi atra avashishyate. Something different again?
No.
Okay. So, avagantavya abhavat. Gantavya means goal. There is no other goal to be known, to be reached, to be gone. It's not like after I know the Atma, then I have to start on a voyage of world domination like Columbus. Columbus wanted to discover so many things. Julius, all these, fellows, Columbus, Julius, they all wanted to have this voyage of world discovery, world conquest, world domination, whatever it is. Hitler, etc. All these people, they did not embark on their desire for various gatis after gaining Atma knowledge. That did not happen. Why? That was only possible because they did not know what they were looking for. And hit with that self-ignorance and not being able to stand themselves, they went in search of new outlets to colonize, conquer, boss over, control, whatever it is. That Aishwarya, that desire to control is really the desire for Atma, if we see it clearly. So once that Atma is gained, again, how? Cognitively as the truth of myself, as that I am everything and nothing is separated from me. I am not alienated from the whole. When that is properly understood, then what happens? Then there is nothing more to be done. There is nothing more to be reached. There is no destination to be gone to. There is nothing more, no more experiences to be had. Even if you have the experiences, it is a plus, because the real plus is that I know the truth of myself and there is nothing to want, that yearning for this, that or the other, that longing just goes. This is what is called Gantavya Abhavat, because this is the goal of the human being. Narasya Ayanam, the goal of the human being. And that's why the Purusha Sukta says, Na anyaf pantha vidyate. Ayanaya, that's the same word anya comes. Na anya means there is no other goal. To vidyate ayanaya, to follow. There is no other path to follow, there is no other goal. The goal is you, the destination is you, the sojourner, the traveler is you. Everything is you. So then where are you going to go? What gati? Which train are you going to catch after, the last class on Atma? Okay, Kathopanishad over. Now I am going to embark on a, spree. What spree? Huh? Yeah, no. The only spree can be another Upanishad. Only spree is to if it's not, if it still some internalization is needed, is to study another Upanishad. That's the only thing. And so gantavya abhavat na gatihi avashishyate. And Adi Shankara is says avashishyate, as a way of not foreshadow, premonition, in a kind of a very interesting premonition of what, not even premonition, but something premonition like. He's just going to tell us. The word avashishyate is very important because the Wednesday classes are at a very interesting conjecture which directly correspond to this. Kimatra parishishyate etadvaitat. Remember? Yeah. No. Okay. Go forward. Go forward to, I will show you where we see this. Go forward to Go forward to 2, 1, 3. Yeah. A few weeks ago, we did this, Yena rupam rasam gandham shabdan sparshanscha maithunan eteneva vijanati kimatra parishishyate. Kimatra parishishyate. What more is left? Because when you know that it is through this Atma alone through which all my sense organs operate, which powers the truth of, which powers all the organs in the body, including organs of actions, organs of the senses, etc. Everything is known through this single consciousness, which is all knowledge, everything. And that Atma is Sarvagya, it's the knower of everything, it's all knowing. And then Kimatra Parishishyate. What more is remaining? This is a rhetorical question. The answer is na kinchit parishishyate. Nothing else remains to be known. Vigneyam, yasya atmanaha vigneyam na kinchit parishishyate iti arthaha. Why? Because saha atma sarvagyaha. Because it is all knowing. Because this atma is all knowing and abiding in the all knowing one, there is nothing more to gain, there is nowhere to go, nothing to have, nothing more to know. Even the most ambitious person, the most restless person, the most bored person, the one who takes up so many hobbies and leaves them halfway. This is the kind of this is the person, who doesn't stick to anything. At the moment they start doing something, they get tired of it. They get bored. They don't want to do anything. And then they pick up something new. And then after 3-4 months, that's also dropped. Then they pick up something new. That's also dropped. And this is how they have been leading their lives. Why? Because that very thing that they are in the search of, which is the truth of themselves, that they themselves don't know they are in the search of, alone can quench this boredom. This boredom is really restlessness. Even though it sounds like apathy, but actually it is great restlessness and dissatisfaction in engaging with one's surroundings. And that dissatisfaction comes, as a result of of being on the wrong track. And because of this dissatisfaction, I engage in various and endless numbers of pursuits which are all dead end. The gati is dead in those pursuits. But here, Finally, thanks to some stroke of punya, I am on the proper pursuit, and gaining this, there is no more boredom, no more restlessness, no more searching. This is what it is, na kimatra, nothing, na kutaha, gatihi, there is nowhere to go, and nothing remains to be, plumbed, to be discovered, to be mined. That is also not there. So these are the two meanings of the word gati. Third meaning also is there. Samsara gativa.
Samsara gativa.
Atra samsara gatirva.
Samsara gativa.
Atra nasti ananya atmani prokte na antariyakatvat vijnana phalasya mokshasya. Yeah. So, samsara gatihi atra nasti. Gatihi atra nasti. Gatihi is generally used for samsara. So, no more samsara. No more restlessness. This is the third meaning. What was the first meaning? No more falling in the vat of many and varied conjectures. First meaning of the word gati. Second meaning of the word gati, what? Yes, the impossibility of knowing the wrong thing is gone. Why? Because there is nothing other than that to know. If there is only one thing to know, how can you mistake it? So the knowledge is all mistake removal only. Only one thing to know. Gantavya bhava, there not being any other goal. Third meaning, no more samsara. Why? Because what is samsara? Some sorrow. That's what samsara is. So the sorrow that arises from feeling of, finiteness, feeling that I'm trapped in everything, starting with his body, mind, sense complex. Nobody complains about the body as long as it's functioning nicely. Yeah, nobody feels trapped. One, says, oh, gung ho, I'm off. I can digest a few stones, nothing will happen. That is the 20s, nothing happens. 3 days, nobody goes to sleep. 3 nights, you can stay awake, party, nothing happens. You can pull 3 all-nighters in a row without any, avagatihi, without any wrong effects. And then you can digest a few stones, no problem. And then what? Later on, whatever one eats gets converted into gallbladder stones, kidney stones, this stone, that stone. This is the thing. And so the body itself becomes a liability. That's why you go to the hospital, no one is ready to insure. Yeah, because it has transcended health insurance. It has transcended all hopes of being insured. This is one way to transcend. And one way to accomplish transcendence at the level of the body. And so then what? Then, so the waking up is a big achievement. You have to give yourself a gold star because you have managed to drag the body out of bed. 1 gold star. Then, having gone into the bathroom, it has come out. Another gold star. And then whatever it eats hasn't come out. 3rd gold star. So like this, when the body itself becomes a liability, a little bit, even the slightest twinges of the body is not cooperating, becomes, the body becomes a trap. Before that, don't think that one feels really free. One may feel free at the level of the body, but the mind doesn't cooperate. The mind is, is a forest of ragadveshas. And being a forest, excuse me, being a forest of ragadveshas, what happens to the mind? it just is not satisfied. Even though the body cooperates and does whatever the mind wants, the body says, I am at your service. Wherever you lead me, I will go. How much ever alcohol you want me to drink, I will drink. The body says, it agrees. But still the mind is not happy. And so this way, there is so much. This is what samsara is. That feeling of being trapped, either by the body, or by the mind, or by the sense organs, or by the people around me, objects that I cannot have, objects that I have that I want to get rid of, other people that are not cooperating. This is what samsara is, a feeling of being trapped. This is no longer there. One is free enough to enjoy the freedom of no limitations. No limitations is a cognitive understanding. Limitations will continue. Oh, my body aches will continue after moksha? Yes. Oh, can I leave? Can I be excused from class right now? Because what's the point of studying? You mean aches and pains will continue? Yes. What about the credit card debt? That will also continue. What about the significant other which I wish was the significant non-other? That will also continue. What about the noisy neighbor? That will also continue unless Bhagavan makes that fellow move. Then what's the point of Vedanta? You've been dragging me on a false promise. Good thing the knowledge hasn't yet started. You said verse 14 or something. We are still on 10. I can leave now. What's the point? I'll still be in this hobbling body, yes. I'll still have a mind that says never mind, yes. I will still be senseless, with regard to the senses, yes. I will still be poor, absolutely. Yeah. I will not become rich, no. I will not have a huge dream house, absolutely not. Then what's the point? The point is that you are free. But you just said I'm not, these are the things that will make me free. But these are not the things you said. You yourself denied that all these things are not going to be there. I'm still stuck in the job. I still don't like the boss. I still don't like my, my neighbor. I still don't like all these things. You said all these things will go away. This is Gantavya Abhava. These are my goals, and if these goals are Gantavya Abhava, means all the goals are realized. And this is samsara, third meaning of gati. Samsara is not there. This is my samsara. I want you to remove it. And if you say that the limitations are going to continue, then what's the point of this study? This is nonsense. Well, samsara is where? Where is samsara? If you say here, remember the pointing finger a few days ago? Yeah.
Yes.
The moving finger. There was one Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock, right? Yeah. The moving, I didn't see that one. All these things better avoid. And so the moving finger. No, not Alfred Hitchcock. Agatha Christie. The moving finger. Don't know what it was about. But we can we can move the finger back here. Where is samsara? No, not there, not there, not there, not there. Getting warmer. No, there, no, too cold. But getting warmer, continue, continue. Oh, samsara is here? Really? Yes. In fact, it's here. Right in between the temples. Yeah. Right in between the place where we presume thinking takes place. Yeah. This is where it is experienced. Samsara is where it is, samsara is where it is experienced. Samsara exists where it is experienced. Samsarasya upalabdhisthanam eva. The upalabdhisthanam, where it is recognized. And that is the same place. Samsarasya upalabdhisthanam eva. or rather Jagataha Upalabdhisthanam, the place where the Jagat is recognized and immediately undergoes a conversion called samsara. Thanks to the operation of the bacteria of ragadveshas, it curdles. The Jagat curdles into samsara. That same place, that same cognitive space is also the space for the recognition of the adhishthana, the truth of this Jagat, which is yourself. Jagataha upalabdhisthanam, Jagataha adhishthanasya upalabdhisthanameva. The place where the samsara is recognized is also the place where the Atma is recognized. As what? As a person, as a Purusha, as that cosmic truth of everything which is free of samsara. So the freedom is here. So I am free enough to abide in a loda body, a limited mind, a body like that is like a jalopy, needs attendance every 2 minutes. And then what? A body that is complaining, but I am not complaining. A mind that is full of all kinds of thought acrobatics, but I am free of the hold of this mind. Senses no longer, senses, their presence or absence or their movements no longer drive me senseless. So I am free enough to transcend those limitations which were getting me down earlier. This is samsara. Samsara is not some miraculous, miraculous cessation of all limitations. It's in fact the slow clarity, the increasing clarity that leads to the dropping of all the things that mattered earlier. Because I have found the only thing that matters. There's only one thing, and which is not a matter, for conjecture. It is myself alone. This is the third gati. Samsara is no longer there. I don't feel limited by anything that happens to me. I don't feel limited as the agent. I don't feel limited as the experiencer, because I know that the status of the experiencer and the agent are both superimpositions on this Atma that is free of all status, all identity. This self-shining self. So all limitations are as though superimpositions, as though experienced. So there is really nothing that is coming in the way of this Atma, because it's the only thing. What can come in the way? Cannot come in the way. And so that is the third meaning of the word gatihi. Further, Atmani prokte na antariyakatvat, tad vijnana phalasya mokshasya. There is nothing else. Na anantariyatvat, because there is nothing other than this. So this is moksha. Moksha means freedom from the notion of limitations. All limitations are, revealed to be notional, not oceanic. So that's the difference. Athava protyamana brahmatma bhutena acharyena prokte atmani agatihi anavabodhah aparijnanam atra nasti bhavati eva avagatihi tadvishaya shrotuhu tad asmi aham iti acharyasya eva ityarthah. So now the athava, fourth meaning of gati. Third meaning we saw, right? Yeah. The fourth meaning of the word gati is that protyamana brahmatma bhutena acharyena prokte. When the Atma is taught properly by the person who is non-different from that which is taught, by a teacher who is well versed in the Upanishads and has been nicely taught, then what happens? Prokte sati atmani agatihi. Agatihi means what? The non-comprehension. Yeah, non-assimilation of the knowledge, non-understanding. There is a mantra in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It says, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. It's a very bold statement. And what is the translation? What is the meaning of this sentence? Acharyavan means the Acharyaha asya asti iti Acharyavan. The one who is blessed to have an Acharya, the one who is blessed to have a Guru. And what kind of Guru we have seen? Not avara, but para. So, one who is blessed to have an Acharya, Veda, knows. This is a very bold statement. Anybody who has a Guru knows. This is the Upanishad. Fantastic. And it has so much. See, it's not about the individual anymore. Not about the individual teacher or the individual student. It is about the force of the teaching when it is taught properly through the properly equipped people who have gained the knowledge and become part of this link and who are qualified to communicate this. Yeah. This is what is the beauty of it. And that is the fourth meaning of gati, agatihi. Agatihi means non-understanding is just impossible if you are being taught properly through a proper teacher in the proper manner. There is no way that you will not know. That's very comforting, correct? The knowledge will take place. It has to take place. This is the force of the lineage. This is the promise of the Upanishad. There is no way you will not know. The double negative is for emphasis. Agatihi, the non-understanding, na asti, not there. Meaning definite comprehension, definite assimilation. Why? Because after all, what is the subject matter? You. And what kind of you? Not the you that is an object. The you that is the very subject of this knowledge, which happens to be self-evident, self-shining, upon which there are various conjectures which are removed through this teaching, through the proper teaching. And so how can you not know? So this is the fourth meaning of the word gati. Two meanings of the word ananya, four meanings of the word gati. Did you capture that?
Yes.
Good. Wonderful. So there will be a quiz on it later. Yeah. So Brahmatma Bhutena Acharyena Prokte Atmani Agatihi. Agatihi means Anavabodhaha, Aparijnanam. Aparijnanam means incomplete knowledge, not knowing, etc. Atra na asti. Bhavati eva avagatihi tad vishayaha shrotuhu tad asmi. Tad asmi. Because why? Because the person who is the Acharya says, Tad aham asmi, I am that alone. What is that? The subject matter. You know? And then what does the student say? That Brahman I am alone. So it's not that the teacher's knowledge is different from the student's knowledge. The teacher communicates what the teacher knows, and the student also understands it as pertaining to that same self, which is the truth of the teacher and the student, and which transcends the body mind sense complex of the teacher and of the student as separate entities, one giving the knowledge, one gaining the knowledge. So that whole thing disappears, and what remains is this self-shining self, about which, when it is properly taught, there is no way that the knowledge cannot take place. Evam
Evam
Suvigneya Atma
Suvigneya Atma
Agamavata
Agamata
Acharyena
Acharyena
Ananyataya Proktaha.
Ananyataya Proktaha.
Yeah, so evam means in this manner alone. We have to add a eva here because of what is going to come later. We have to, in parenthesis, add a eva also. Only in this manner alone, the Atma, Agamavata, taught by a person who is, Agamavan, the one who has the Shastra as the truth of oneself. Agamavata, third case, Acharyena, through this teacher who is well taught, well versed in the scriptures. Acharyena, Ananyataya, meaning as taught as non-separate from oneself, then only it is understood. Why add the word only? Because of what is to come. Itaratha,
Itarata
Hi, Aniyan,
Aniyan
Anupramanadapi,
Anupramanadapi
Sampadhyate Atma.
Sampadhyate Atma.
Yeah, so Itaratha means in the other scenario. In otherwise, Itaratha, otherwise what happens if it's not taught like this? He, Aniyan means it becomes as small as an atom. How does the Atma become as small as an atom? Because that's how it is taught. Subtle thing, deep down inside the heart, after going through the arteries and the veins, right in the middle, 1 centimeter away from the left ventricle, lies the truth of this self, small, tiny. You cannot see it through operation, through surgery, subtle, but it is there. You have to realize it, you have to dive deep inside, and after having dived deep, you have to, battle with the sharks of all other wrong teachers, other than me. This fellow is Panditam Manyaha, and other than me. And then you have to fish out this Atma, like even the diver in the great reef goes and comes out with the pearl, deep sea pearl of truth. That is what is hidden inside of you. It is off-white in color. I can't continue with a straight face, so I'm going to stop. So you get the rest, you get the you get the drift here. And so this is what it becomes the sitting duck for various conjectures, because it is the subject. It is still sought after by the wrong teachers as an object, and so they come to the wrong conclusion that this object must be very small or very nicely hidden. Aniyan means anutaraha, iyasun, anu plus iyasun, aniyan. And so this aniyan, anutaraha, smaller. And one says smaller, and then Adi Shankara is going to make fun of that person, such people in the Bhashya. The other says smallest, one says smaller than the smallest, and the other says smaller than the smallest than the smallest. Like this, they come to various conclusions because it's not available for objectification, but they still are determined to look at it as an object rather than the subject. The moving finger has moved back. It was never here, so it was already there. And so always looking at the Atma, and even when the U-turn compels you, the Upanishad compels you to make a U-turn, you are still looking for it as an object. So you use analogies. Such people use the analogies of mining, diving, plumbing, and coming out with some pearls, all these kinds of, this is very nice for poetry, but not for the dissemination of the teaching. And so therefore, aniyan anupramanadapi sampadhyate atma. This is what the Shruti says. Aniyan anupramanat. Anupramanat means smaller than an atom. And meaning what? This is the Upanishad. First meaning we already saw. Because they look at it as an object, they are not able to see it as a subject, so they keep looking. But instead of looking out, they are looking with a microscope. various scopes, Atma scope. And then that is first meaning. Second meaning is that, the one who knows or who claims to know the Atma as an object, what do they know? Nothing. Yeah, what they know is as good as a microscopic figment of a filament of dust. And this is what is communicated also in the Kathopanishad, where it says that the Atma is just a figment of dust. Yadi manyase subedeti dabhrameva asti nunam. Indeed, your knowledge is as good as dabhra. Dabhra means a small speck of dust. So your knowledge is as big as a speck of a dust. Or at least it's as big as a speck of a dust. This is the problem. Yeah. Nothing to get elated. When you say Atma is a speck, what happens? Atma is a speck means what? That if Atma is you and you say Atma is a speck, you become as good as a speck. Your knowledge, what you know, is as good as a speck. If Atma is all knowledge and you come to the wrong conclusion, Atma is a speck, you make a spectacle of yourself. That's that's what it is. This is not spectacular at all, because you have made yourself a big laughing stock. Dabhrameva asti nunam. Tvam vedha. What do you know is as good as a speck of dust. And so that's the second meaning here. Aniyan means not only is you have come to the wrong conclusion, it is small, it must be a small object, and yes, it is the truth of me, so it must be deep somewhere inside me. So wrong reading of the Upanishad, because it wasn't taught to you properly, and not only that, you are happily teaching it to others, and then what you know is as good as a speck. And therefore what? Atarkyam, atarkyam, atarkyah, swabuddhya, abhyuhena, kevalena tarkena. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll just take a 5-minute break and come back. You don't have to go, no, today?
No, I
Good.
don't.
So we can come back after 5-10 minutes and then we'll continue with this.
Okay.